I spent 7 years as a wealth manager at one of Canada's biggest banks, and here's the sad truth that I saw. Most Canadians are struggling financially, not because they don't work hard, okay? They're struggling because the system failed to provide them with the financial literacy that they need to survive. In Canada, they teach us to work, save money for retirement, maybe open a random savings account at some point, and hope everything works out. But nobody actually teaches you how to structure your accounts in finances so your money can grow and work for you over time. And the truth is, if you only have 1 or 2 accounts in Canada, you're probably making building wealth harder than it needs to be. So today, I'm going to show you the 4 accounts every Canadian needs to have if you want to save money properly, build strong credit, and start investing. But the last account that I'm going to show you today is actually the one that will grow your money the fastest over time. And surprisingly, most Canadians either don't use it properly or don't use it at all. But once these 4 accounts are set up, managing money becomes way simpler. So during my time working at the bank, this was one of the biggest financial mistakes I saw Canadians make. And most people don't even realize that they're doing it. When people talk about building wealth, we usually focus on earning more money. But the truth is, your wealth can also grow by simply reducing unnecessary expenses. And one of the most common places Canadians lose money is bank account fees. Oh, and a lot of people don't even realize that they're paying them. So the first account you need to build financial freedom in Canada can actually make or break this, your checking account. This is where your paycheck lands, where you pay your bills, where you send your e-transfers, and where you pay off your credit card. Almost every dollar you earn will usually pass through this account first. But here's the problem. Many Canadians open the first checking account a bank offers them and never really think about it again. Some traditional banks will charge anywhere between $10 to $30 per month just to hold your money. And that might not sound like a lot of money off the bat, but if you're paying $17.95 per month, that's over $200 a year in fees, and that's money that could have been saved, invested, or earning interest instead. So these are the 3 things that you should always look for when choosing a checking account. First, the fees. Ideally, you want no monthly fees unless you're getting additional benefits. There's really no reason to pay a bank just to access your own money anymore. There are plenty of accounts in Canada that offer free checking with unlimited transactions. Second, no minimum balance requirement. Some banks will say the account is free if you keep $3,000 or $4,000 sitting in the account at all times. Fam, what are we doing out here, eh? The problem here is the money is basically locked there doing nothing. That money could be instead sitting in a high interest savings account or invested. And third, CDIC insurance. CDIC stands for Canada Deposit Insurance Corporation, and it protects deposits up to $100,000 if a financial institution fails. It's essentially a safety net for your money. I often will get questions like, can I trust these companies and these online banks with my money? So one thing you always want to look out for is the CDI symbol to give you that reassurance of reinsurance. That reassurance of insurance, cool. Because it means your deposits are essentially protected just like the big banks if anything were to go wrong. Now, something interesting happening in Canada recently is that some checking accounts are starting to function a little bit like high interest savings accounts, meaning they actually pay interest on the money sitting in the account. So your cash can grow a little just by being there. It's probably not gonna make you rich, but it's much better than earning 0% interest while the banks makes money from your deposits. So the goal with your checking account is simple. Use it as your money control center, but make sure it's not quietly draining your wealth through fees. But if you want to grow your money and build financial freedom in Canada, here's another common mistake a lot of Canadians make that you want to avoid. Once your checking account is set up properly, the next step is saving your money in the right place. Because here's something I see all the time. People are actually great at saving money, but they keep it in the wrong account. Many Canadians keep their savings sitting in their checking account or in a regular savings account that earns almost no interest at all, or 0.1% interest that the banks want to give us these days. So their money just sits there barely growing. And over time, inflation slowly eats away at the value of those savings. This is where the second account you need comes in, a high interest savings account, known as a TFsa. This account is specifically designed for saving money. Think of it as your financial safety net. This is where you keep money for things like your emergency fund, a vacation you're planning, a saving for a car, or any short-term financial goals. Now, one of the biggest reasons this account is so important is because it helps you create separation between spending and saving. When your savings sit in the same place as your spending money, it becomes really easy to accidentally dip into it. But when it's in a separate account, you're much more likely to leave it alone and let it grow. Now, the first goal most people should focus on inside their savings account is building an emergency fund. An emergency fund is simply money set aside for unexpected situations like losing your job, medical expenses, car repairs. I've had my fair share of flat tires, stressful, or home repairs, right? Your water breaks, you need to fix the kitchen, the sink, whatever the case may be. Most financial planners will recommend saving 3 to 6 months of expenses in a high interest savings account. That way, if life throws something unexpected at you, you're not forced to rely on credit cards or debt to deal with it. Now, the benefit of using a high interest savings account specifically is that it pays more interest than a regular savings account. Your money stays safe, it stays accessible, and it earns a better return while sitting there. One option many Canadians don't realize exists is the savings account from Canadian Tire Bank, actually, surprisingly. They have one of the best interest rates available for Canadians. It's actually a pretty underrated option because it often has very few requirements to earn the highest interest rate, which makes it a solid place to park your savings. Some of my other favorites are PC Financial, EQ Bank, and Wealth Simple. The goal with a high interest savings account is simple. Keep your savings safe. Keep it separate from your spending and allow it to earn interest compound while you build your financial foundation. Now, once your savings are set up properly, the next step is something a lot of people are actually afraid of, and that's okay. So I'm just gonna come out and say it. A credit card. And honestly, I understand the fear of credit cards because a lot of us grew up hearing things like credit cards will put you in debt. Never use a credit card. Only spend the money that you actually have. That was my dad. Yeah, that was, anyways. But the reality is avoiding credit completely can actually make your financial life harder later on. Let me give you a quick example. Imagine two people. Both of them are responsible with money. Both of them save regularly. Both of them avoid debt. But one person has never used a credit card before, and the other has been using a credit card responsibly for a few years. Now, fast forward 5 years. Both of them decide they want to buy a house. When they go to apply for a mortgage, the bank will look at something called their credit score. And here's the interesting part. The person who never used credit might actually have a harder time getting approved, because lenders have no history showing how they handle borrowed money. Meanwhile, the person who used a credit card responsibly has already built a strong credit profile. So remember this, in Canada, your credit score is your financial report card. It lets lenders know how good you have been with handling borrowed money. And this is something that surprises a lot of newcomers and immigrants when they arrive in Canada. Because in many countries around the world, including where I grew up in Nigeria, the whole concept of credit scores and credit history does not exist. It's not a thing, okay? So when people move to Canada, they're often shocked to learn that things like renting an apartment, getting a loan, buying a car, qualifying for a mortgage, and sometimes even certain job applications, which means even if you're financially responsible, you still need to build a credit history here. And that's why the third account you should have is a credit card. Not because you want to go into debt, all right? But because it helps you build your financial reputation. Your credit score is essentially a track record that shows lenders how reliable you are when it comes to borrowing and paying back money. It is your financial report card in Canada. Now, another benefit of credit cards in Canada is rewards. Many cards offer things like cashback, travel points, grocery rewards, gas rewards. And when used properly, you can earn rewards from spending you're already doing anyways. For example, I personally use travel rewards credit cards, and last year I was able to travel to 5 different countries, 5 different continents actually, without paying for flights, simply by using the right travel card and accumulating points. But the most important rule when using credit cards is simple. Always pay your balance in full every month. Because credit card interest rates are extremely high. If you carry a balance, the interest can quickly cancel out any rewards you're earning. So the best way to think about a credit card is this. Treat it like a debit card with benefits. Not a friend with benefits, but a debit card with benefits. Only spend money you already have and pay it off completely every month. Now, during my time as a wealth manager at one of Canada's biggest banks, I actually managed a $1 billion investment portfolio. And I'm going to share a secret with you. Once you set up your spending system, your saving system, and you've started building credit, the fourth account is where your money can finally start working for you and where it can grow the fastest over time. But this is where many Canadians actually miss one of the biggest wealth building opportunities available to them. The TFsa. TFsa, tax-free savings account. Now, the name can be a little bit misleading at times because despite the word savings in the name, this account is actually designed for investing. And it's one of the most powerful investment accounts Canadians have access to because anything that happens inside the account can grow tax-free. That means if your investments grow, you don't pay tax on the gains, you don't pay tax on the dividends, and when you withdraw the money later on, you don't pay tax then either, which makes this account extremely powerful for long-term wealth building in Canada. Inside a TFsa, you can invest in things like stocks, ETFs, bonds, index funds, mutual funds. And here's the thing, you don't need thousands of dollars or a finance degree to start investing, okay? But if you want a simple, easy way to grow your money by investing in the stock market, the best place to start is with ETFs. ETFs are essentially baskets of companies. Instead of trying to pick one winning stock, you're investing in many companies at once, which helps spread out your risk. Here are a few popular beginner-friendly ETFs that Canadians often invest in. VFV or VOO, which tracks the top 500 companies in the United States. XIU, which tracks the top 60 companies in Canada. XEQT, which tracks thousands of companies across the global market. So with something like XEQT, for example, you're essentially investing in the global economy in one investment. And the easiest places to open a TFsa account for investing in Canada are platforms like Wealthsimple or Questrade. Both platforms are beginner-friendly, low cost, and make it very easy to start investing. And the reason the TFsa is so powerful is because time does most of the work. When you consistently invest over many years, your money benefits from compound growth, which basically means your money starts earning money on the money it is already on. And over time, that effect can become extremely powerful, potentially making you millions of dollars over the long run, ideally. So the goal with your TFsa is simple. Use it as your long-term investing account and allow your investments to grow tax-free over time. So once these 4 accounts are set up, you've essentially built the financial foundation that most Canadians are never thought of. And from here, managing money becomes much simpler. Now, inside your TFSA, I mentioned that ETFs are one of the easiest ways for beginners to start investing. But if you're wondering what ETFs actually are and how you can build wealth with them, I made a full video breaking that down in simple terms, and you can check that out right here. Cheers.